Watch everyone make a Game of Thrones or Skyrim reference to this episode. Just watch. Can I be honest and say that I think this is my favorite episode now of the season and my favorite Spike episode? I was worried that the season was starting off a little too slow. We had a couple of okay episodes, but nothing terrible, but nothing great. This is the first episode I can genuinely call great in many cases. So the idea is basically that Spike is apparently glowing, which means that he's being summoned by a dragon lord. That's freaking cool that there's actually a dragon lord. And now he has to go to the land of the dragons to basically, attend the summons. Apparently the dragon lord is stepping down as the dragon lord and wants to find a successor. So he basically sets up this event called the Gauntlet of Fire, where these dragons have to compete to become the new dragon lord. Okay, first things first, this entire thing reminds me heavily of the Goblet of Fire from Harry Potter. Like, seriously, the way that Spike was working together with this new character that was introduced, Princess Ember, it reminds me exactly of how Harry and Cedric were working together at some point, where both of them were kind of like unlikely allies. They were supposed to be going against each other, but yet they still helped each other in certain fronts. That's how I felt Spike and Princess Ember were. It felt like, they were unlikely allies, but they still worked together because it benefited both of them greatly. And the thing is with this episode, we also get to see Garble again, but they actually put him in a good role. He's being a bully and otherwise, yada yada yada, but they actually put him in for some good comic relief, and he gets his comeuppance at the end of the episode, so good job on that one. Of course, the episode pretty much ends with, Princess Ember now becoming the Dragon Lord after Spike became Dragon Lord for about a whopping 12 seconds. And pretty much, we get to see that Princess Ember is a look into maybe, a new kind of culture and otherwise for the dragons. Not worrying about strength and otherwise, but worrying about other stuff, like being smart and cunning. And, hell, even worrying about teamwork and friends and otherwise. I kind of like this because it shows that the culture could, in fact, change and become a little bit more lenient and, more of an actual good thing in some cases. I know, dragons and all that, but it still is kind of a cool prospect. If I had to say anything about this episode besides the fact that Spike was aces in this episode, I loved Princess Ember. The lore in this episode is rich. You know me, guys, I'm a Dark Souls player, so lore is a big thing for me, and the lore in this episode is so rich. Mwah! Oh, I love it. 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 This is the kind of episode I die for. So all in all, not much I could say. It had a few problems from time to time, but you want to know what? I do not care about these problems. Spike was on his A game in this one. He was aces. Princess Ember, great character addition and great character to bring in for the dragons. Garble, I hated the fact that he was brought in, but they utilized him properly in many situations. The Dragon Lord, I wish he got more kind of development and such, but then again, he's supposed to be the stereotypical all-powerful dragon and otherwise. And we do see Rarity and Twilight in this episode basically, helping Spike in any way they can, basically supporting him, but also showing that, you can be friends with just about anybody. And like I said, lore in this episode, mwah, love it. Honestly, this is my favorite episode of the season so far, and this is not my favorite Spike episode, and possibly my favorite episode when it comes to lore. Yeah, I really like it. And that's my speed impressions on Gauntlet of Fire.